Chapter 11 Time. In earlier classes, we have learned about the measurement of time. Let us first revise what we have learned. A watch or a clock tells us time. A clock has two hands, a shorter hand and a longer hand. Minute hand, hour hand. The shorter hand is called the hour hand. The longer hand is called the minute hand. The face or dial of the clock is divided into 12 big divisions marked from numbers 1, 2, 3 till 12. The space between every pair of two consecutive numbers is divided into 5 equal small divisions. Thus, the dial is divided into 12 into 5, which is equal to 60 small divisions. The minute hand shows time in minutes. It moves from one small division to another small division in 1 minute. It goes once round the dial in 1 hour. Thus, the minute hand covers 60 small divisions in 1 hour. Therefore, 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. The minute hand takes 5 minutes to move from one number to the next number. The hour hand shows time in hours. It moves from one number to the next number in 1 hour. The hour hand takes 12 hours to complete one round. The hour hand takes 2 rounds in a whole day. Therefore, 1 day is equal to 2 multiplied by 12 hours, which is 24 hours. Reading time. By looking at the positions of the two hands of the clock, we can tell the time. Observe these examples. In the figure given on the right, the hour hand is at 9 and the minute hand is at 12. Therefore, the time is 9 o'clock. In symbols, we write it as 9. Minute hand at 12 shows 12 into 5 minutes, which is 60 minutes, which is equal to 1 hour. Chapter 11 Time. In earlier classes, we have learned about the measurement of time. Let us first revise what we have learned. A watch or a clock tells us time. A clock has two hands, a shorter hand and a longer hand. Minute hand, hour hand. The shorter hand is called the hour hand. The longer hand is called the minute hand. Do you remember? Minute hand at 1 shows 1 into 5 minutes, that is 5 minutes. Minute hand at 2 shows 2 into 5 minutes, which is 10 minutes. Minute hand at 3 shows 3 into 5 minutes, that's 15 minutes. Minute hand at 12 shows 12 into 5, which is 60 minutes or 1 hour. In the figure of the clock shown here, the hour hand is little ahead of 3 and the minute hand is at 1, showing 1 into 5, which is 5 minutes. Therefore, the time is 5 minutes past 3. In symbols, we write it as 3:05. In the figure of the clock given on the right, the hour hand is between 9 and 10, while minute hand is at 6, showing 6 into 5, 30 minutes. Therefore, the time is 30 minutes past 9. In symbols, it is written as 9:30. Since 30 minutes show half an hour, we say that the time is 9:30. In the figure of the clock given on the right, the hour hand is ahead of 4 and the minute hand is at 3, showing 3 into 5, 15 minutes. Therefore, the time is 15 minutes past 4. In symbols, we write it as 4:15. Since 15 minutes make quarter of an hour, we also say that the time is 4:15. In the figure of the clock given on the right, the hour hand is little behind the number 4 and the minute hand is at 9, showing 9 into 5, 45 minutes. Therefore, the time is 45 minutes past 3. In symbols, we write it as 3:45. Clearly, it is 15 minutes less to be 4 o'clock. Thus, we also say that the time is 4:45. Reading time correct to the minute. In the figure of the clock given on the left, The hour hand is at between 6 and 7. It shows that the time is between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. The minute hand is between 8 and 9, and it is 3 small divisions ahead of the number 8. It shows that it has moved 8 into 5 plus 2, which is 40 plus 2, or 42 small divisions after 6 o'clock. Thus, the clock shows 42 minutes past 6. In the symbols, we write it as 6:42. The minute hand has to go 18 minutes to reach at 12, making the time 7 o'clock. Therefore, we say that the time is 18 minutes to 7. In the figure of the clock shown on the right, the time is 12 minutes past 10 or 10:12. Reading time. By looking at the positions of the two hands of the clock, we can tell the time. Observe these examples. In the figure given on the right, the hour hand is at 9 and the minute hand is at 12. Therefore, the time is 9 o'clock. In symbols, we write it as 9. Minute hand at 12 shows 12 into 5 minutes, which is 60 minutes, which is equal to 1 hour. In the figure of the clock shown here, the hour hand is little ahead of 3 and the minute hand is at 1, showing 1 into 5, which is 5 minutes. Therefore, the time is 5 minutes past 3. In symbols, we write it as 3:05. In the figure of the clock given on the right, the hour hand is between 9 and 10, while minute hand is at 6, showing 6 into 5, 30 minutes. Therefore, the time is 30 minutes past 9. In symbols, it is written as 9:30. Since 30 minutes show half an hour, we say that the time is 9:30. In the figure of the clock given on the right, the hour hand is ahead of 4 and the minute hand is at 3, showing 3 into 5, 15 minutes. Therefore, the time is 15 minutes past 4. In symbols, we write it as 4:15. Since 15 minutes make quarter of an hour, we also say that the time is 4:15. In the figure of the clock given on the right, the hour hand is little behind the number 4 and the minute hand is at 9, showing 9 into 5, 45 minutes. Therefore, the time is 45 minutes past 3. In symbols, we write it as 3:45. Clearly, it is 15 minutes less to be 4 o'clock. Thus, we also say that the time is 4:45. Use of AM and PM. You know that the time from one midnight to next midnight is called a day. The hour hand goes twice round the dial in a day. It takes 12 hours to complete one round, and hence 2 into 12, 24 hours to complete 2 rounds. Thus, the hour hand shows the same time twice in a day. For example, the clock will show 9 in the morning, 9 in the evening. So, how do we know whether it is 9 in the morning or 9 in the evening? To show which part of the day we mean, we use AM for time after 12 midnight and before 12 noon, PM for time after 12 noon and before 12 midnight. Do you remember? We do not write 12 AM or 12 PM. We use 12 noon and 12 midnight instead. AM is the short form of Latin word antemeridian, that means before noon or midday. PM is the short form of Latin word postmeridian, that means afternoon or midday. "24-hour clock." We normally use the 12-hour clock to tell the time. However, many airlines, railways, armed forces do not use AM and PM in their timetable. Instead, they use the 24-hour clock time. Look at the 24-hour clock shown below. In it, the hours from each midnight to the next one are numbered from the numerals 0 to 24. Here is a 24-hour clock. 1 a.m. is written as 100 hours. 5 a.m. is written as 500 hours. 7 a.m. is written as 700 hours. 12 noon is written as 1200 hours. 3 p.m. is written as 1500 hours. 9 p.m. is written as 2100 hours. 10 p.m. is written as 2200 hours. 12 midnight is written as 2400 hours or 0000 hours. Now, look at these clocks. The time is 3:30 hours if it is in the morning. The time is 15:30 hours if it is in afternoon. Here, the time is 5:20 hours if it is morning. The time is 17:20 hours if it is evening. The time is 23:10 hours if it is evening. Do you remember? 24-hour clock time in hours are expressed using 4-digit numerals. In this notation, the following rules are observed. The numeral formed by the 2 digits from the right denotes the number of minutes. If the numeral formed by the first 2 digits from the left is less than 12, it denotes the number of hours before noon, and so AM is to be used with it. For example, 0915 hours denotes 9:15 AM. 11:22 hours denote 11:22 AM. If the numeral formed by the first 2 digits from the left is greater than 12, the difference between the number and 12 gives the number of hours after noon, and so PM is to be used with it. For example, 14:15 hours denotes 2:15 p.m. 21:45 hours denotes 9:45 p.m. If the number formed by the first 2 digits from the left is 12 other than 1200, it shows 12 hours after noon, so PM is to be used with it. For example, 12:08 hours denotes 12:08 p.m. 12:35 hours denotes 12:35 p.m. Conversion of one unit of time into another. Conversion of days into hours. We know that 1 day is equal to 24 hours. So, 2 days is 2 into 24 hours, which is 48 hours. 3 days is equal to 3 into 24 hours, or 72 hours, etc. Thus, we have the following rule for this conversion. Rule: to convert days into hours, multiply the number of days by 24. Conversion of hours into minutes. We know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So, 2 hours is equal to 2 into 60 hours, or 120 minutes. 3 hours is equal to 3 into 60 hours, which is equal to 180 minutes, etc. Thus, we have the following rule for this conversion. Rule: to convert hours into minutes, multiply the numbers of hours by 60. Duration of an activity. Time taken for an activity is the duration of the activity. Some activities can be completed in minutes, some take hours, and some hours and minutes. To calculate the duration of an activity, we should know the start time and finish time of the activity. Example 1. A bus left Faridabad at 3:40 p.m. and reached Delhi at 4:35 p.m. How much time did the bus take to reach Delhi from Faridabad? Solution: time taken by the bus to reach Delhi is duration from 3:40 p.m. to 4:35 p.m., which is equal to duration from 3:40 p.m. to 4 p.m. plus duration from 4 p.m. to 4:35 p.m., which is 20 minutes plus 35 minutes, that is 55 minutes. Do the rest of the sum for yourself. If number of minutes is more than 60, regroup them into hours and minutes. For example, 70 minutes is equal to 1 hour 10 minutes. Finishing time of an activity. If we know the starting time and the duration of any activity, we can find the finishing time of activity easily. Example, the flight from Delhi to Bangalore takes 2 hours and 25 minutes. If the flight takes off at 9 a.m., when will it land in Bangalore? Solution. 2 hours after 9 a.m. is 11 a.m. and 25 minutes after 11 a.m. is 11:25 a.m. So, the flight will land in Bangalore at 11:25 a.m. Maths lab activity. Materials required: 4 centimeters into 4 centimeters square cards, as many as the number of students in the class. Crayons, pencils, erasers. Method: note for the teacher. Divide the cards into 2 sets. On one set, draw clock faces showing different times. On the other set, write down the time corresponding to the time in the cards of set 1 in words. Divide the class into 2 groups. Ask one student from the first group to show his or her clock to the students in the other groups. The student in the second group who has the card with the corresponding time should get up and read the time on his card. Those with the correct responses score points for their teams.